Good morning to all in the Marmy Army. It is an ever increasing Marmy Army, particularly after last week's success, for which I have to thank first and foremost Tim Butler, who has become pretty famous this week with 300 views in less than 5 days. He was signing autographs outside work the other day. T-Butts, as he's now known to the kids, will be coming back in autumn. So he didn't know that, but now he does. So thank you very much, Tim. Very much enjoyed that. And what a schedule I've got lined up for the coming weeks. Next weekend, I am in the London Landmarks Half Marathon. I'll be taking you there. I'll also be taking my kids too. It's a childcare issue at the last minute, but let's not go there. And then later on, in a couple of weeks' time, I will be running my first full marathon at the Stratford Shakespeare full marathon for the Rotary Club. Let's not give it too much of a build-up, but I'll be there and you will be there. And I'll film during that race because I think, to be honest with you, I'll be at walking pace for much of it. So look, big thank you. And again, big thank you to all of those people who have been in touch. The guests are flooding in. They are booking up fast. I have pretty well the whole month of May booked out by people from all different walks of life with interesting stories to tell who are desperate to play 13.1 questions, so that's great. Today is Mother's Day, and I celebrated by going to my own mother's yesterday, not today, but yesterday, and presenting her with a little gift. So here's to you, Jean. Lots of love, and I'm doing this in honour of you today. Now, today we are also going to Baddesley Clinton. Okay, it's in our second of our National Trust specials. You will remember that about a month ago, I took you to Packwood. Now, I am feeling slightly anxious, as usual, about this today, because I'm no longer a member of the National Trust. I said that in a whisper so that people can actually take it in. I'm no longer a member.
Now, point of interest, on the road coming down to Baddesley, there's a house just here, which the rumour goes, and it was a true rumour I think, that one Mr. Daniel Craig was going to purchase. See if I can cross over without being killed. There it is, just peeking through the trees. And it was there it is, as recently as it must be Daniel Craig's, look. Got a flag of St George flying half-mast. Who's dead now? Have I missed something? Don't know. Anyway, so yeah, spit it out. Daniel Craig was going to buy that place recently, as a couple of years ago, but he had to cancel the purchase because he was having to do reshoots for the latest Bond film, which just goes to show there's just no time to buy. We are coming up to the entrance to Baddesley. I'm not a member. Oh, it is open. Wowzers. It's open and it's quiet. Right. Now, as I've said to you, I am not a member. It lapsed. As soon as my kids could articulate themselves, it became fairly clear that National Trust membership was no longer a priority. But yeah, it's lapsed. And I was trying to find the car sticker. I've worn camouflage just in case. And I suppose, you know, if any pensioner tries to grab me for trespassing, I can do the old roll and run, a bit like the final of Euro 2020. But yeah, I was trying to find the old car sticker or an old card, membership card, or anything that would sort of signify me as a member. And in the end I had to ask, well, I couldn't remember what the logo was. It's a bunch of acorns apparently. Right, done it. There you go. Now with this, I think it's fairly clear that I am a member. I've also fashioned a little greeting on there as well, just in case anyone mistakes me for a guide, because I do know quite a lot about this place. Either way, I think it's probably about time I get a move on. Now if I run and look forward in a quite steely, determined way, looks like I'm arriving for work. Cue music. we are here at Baddesley. It is quite magnificent. This place may look pretty quiet now. In fact, I'm really surprised it is, but I think people probably aren't bothering me because of my ID badge. I think I'm one of the guides. But pretty soon, in probably about half an hour, this place will be teeming with couples in their 30s wearing papooses and trying to shovel pureed broccoli down the throats of kids called Mungo and Hugo and things like that. So yeah, God, I remember those days. The house itself was built in around about 1050, and it was owned by a family called the Ferrers, I believe, and they had it in their family for many years, until in the end they couldn't keep up the upkeep of it and sold it to the National Trust. There's an innovation, isn't there? Might give them a ring, see if they're interested in taking mine. Doubtful. And there it is from a different view. But what you can't see actually is, funnily enough, the fact that it's got a moat running all the way around it. Now, for me, that was a massive selling point as a kid. If my parents wanted me to consider going to Packwood or Baddesley, Baddesley was always my choice because there was a moat. Anything to do with water, I don't know whether I'd sort of deluded myself into thinking I might be able to go swimming, but either way, there's a moat there. When I look at it, I just think, God, it'd be damp, and you know, a bit disconcerting waking up every morning and just seeing water all around you. Be a bit like living in Bewdley. It's just a joke. Come on, we can laugh now. The sun's out. Come on. Anyway, but yeah, and the other reason why I really love this place, Baddesley, was just because you know, there's a really intriguing sort of plot. It was a bit gory actually, and if it was one of the rare occasions where I would try and seek out a guide to fill me in, because I used to love hearing about this story, which I'll tell you a little bit about now. There was a man who owned Baddesley, and his name was John Broom. Now John Broom was a very naughty man. He was a very cruel man, fairly awful to animals and wildlife and women and such like. And he was had a very bad temper. And rumour has it that one day he went out drinking, and when he came back, he discovered that the local priest was with his wife. Now, what do you think of that? With his wife, you know, copulation, physical congress. Oh, for goodness sake, they were at it. And what do you think of that? Did you know that? What did you think of that? And of course, John Broom flew into a wild rage, and he took out his sword and he ran him through. There is another tale which suggests that both men were drinking together and one asked the other to see his priest hole, and an argument ensued, but I don't believe that. But what do you think of that? Do you know that? And of course, the tapestry tax. I hadn't finished telling you about the tapestry tax. Now, the tapestry tax... Do me a favour, Cheryl. And do you know what he did next? Do you know? The local constable or magistrate or so forth came into the house and found the bloodstain on the floor and arrested him. And do you know what happened next? Well, what he did was he promised that he would build a tall steeple at the church just at the top of the way from the house, and a matching steeple at Packwood Church. And those two steeples were known as the Towers of Atonement. And the magistrate was satisfied after that John Broom was very sorry for what he'd done, and that satisfied them. He went about his business, being cruel. What do you think of that? And here it is, in the churchyard. That is, there you go, one of his Towers of Atonement. And to be honest, I'm fairly disappointed he's not actually that tall, which suggests he wasn't actually that sorry. And actually, worth bearing in mind if you ever do want to kill a visitor. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're caught red-handed or not. All you've got to do is say to the police you've got planning in place for a loft conversion, and it appears you get away scot-free. Well, look, I am going to go now because I think my badge is starting to cause some unwanted attention, but I cannot leave these places of history without a poem. I know that's what you'd expect from me, so I'm going to give you one of my very best. There is no seat in history to rival that of Baddesley. To watch the sun rise on its moat as dawn arrives and removes her coat. To stand within its hallowed halls where tapestries adorn the walls. It is my job, my call, my duty to come and worship at its beauty. But within this place there lies a story, a tale of death most foul and gory. For in a room behind a door, a bloodstain lies upon the floor. It shrieks of crime and pain and strife, of a priest who came and goosed his wife. But standing there are towers of atonement, and guilt is cleansed within a moment. But I must go and seek other adventure. I cannot stay, I'm not a member. Gone a bit Richard Burton there, I think, during that poem. Used to love where eagles dare. Broadsword calling Danny boy. Broadsword calling Danny boy. Mission complete. Horden killed. This is Broadsword. Was Horden killed accidentally? Over? No, over. The mutterings of a madman. Right, let's get back on it. And so that brings me to the end of our little country file today. And to celebrate Mother's Day, the song of the day, I can always remember Saturday morning doing the housework, 1985, Mum with a Lionel Richie LP on, and the song is All Night Long. That's for you, Mum. So that leaves me to close things off. Morning. That leaves me to close things off quite nicely by saying like, subscribe, do whatever. See you in London next week.